Hello again, everyone. Just had another shipment from Gummiapan, and in my shipment was this little circle of snowflakes, or I suppose it could be foliage or whatever, really, but I thought it was really rather pretty. And one of the things also was this this dear little moose. Do you ever see anything so cute? So I just thought I'd make a card. The die actually comes just like that. And so you get the whole of that as your die cut. But I decided I wanted to have an aperture in the middle. So I went to my supply of Presscut dies and selected a little circle that would just fit inside, which I have taped with a piece of low tack tape to the other one so that I can cut out several and the distance around will be absolutely equal. So my plan is this: using that same circle to cut an aperture in a front panel, I thought I would stick these together, pop them on the front there, and have the little moose peeping through, maybe with a little bit of snow, an embossed background, snowflakes or something of the like. But there's just a couple of things I wanted to chat about rather than just go ahead and do it. When you come to be putting things like this, it can be quite fiddly, but this one makes it really easy. There's one little place where there's a tiny little hole. So when you come to be stacking these, it's really easy, rather than going around and seeing where does this match, where does that match. That little hole is a really great, registration point, really, to know where to start sticking it together. The other thing I wanted to mention was this dear little chap has got eyes that are cut out. Not, it's not all the same die cut. They will fall out. So here I've cut out another one. I'm just going to start doing one of these. Here is actually 3 layers deep. So the eyes are still in the die cut here. So I'm going to get a small piece of tape, just cut a little strip, and I'm going to go over those eyes and stick them down to the rest of the die cut, because I don't want to lose them. Trying to get them back in is really tricky, but I only want the eyes on the bottom layer. When I put my next 2 up, the eyes will then look as if they're sort of recessed a bit. Just gives a little bit more realism, I think. So I'll take this one out now, and hopefully the eyes should come with it. That one hasn't. Let me just poke it out. You have to be careful. Let's just see. Have we got this? Yes, both eyes are still there. Just give it a little help just to make sure it's stuck onto that piece of sticky tape. Okay, now if I cut more out, it doesn't matter if the bits fall off or not. Let's just carry on. I'll cut out another couple from my piece of card, but I wanted to show you the business of trying to keep those eyes in before you start doing the layers, because, as I say, trying to pick them up is awful. So it doesn't matter now where I can get rid of them. They can fall onto the side, no matter. Okay, there's 2 and 1 more. Actually, 2 might do, but I will do 1 more. My thoughts are that I will just put some glue on that and a little bit of very fine, clear, diamond type glitter, and just have a twinkly circle round him. Or I could do it green, I suppose, and have like a faux. Well, it's my lobster, isn't it? I can do what I like. So let me just stick these together. Okay. If you wanted to, you could cut out his legs and his arms and make, cut those layers on the top and build it up so that you get much more of a 3D one. But I'm not going to do that this morning. I'm just going to quickly stick them together. Doesn't matter that it's going over there. Right, on another layer. There's little eyes falling all over the place. I do quite like, these eyes are so easy to add the dimension by perhaps just cutting out an arm and a leg and sticking those on top to make things look more in perspective. It's a lot of fun, but fiddly. It just depends what sort of mood you're in, really. If you're in the mood for quietly beavering away, then it can be quite restful. But if you're in a bit of a rush... Oh, I've put that on the wrong way, haven't I? Oh, never mind. I'll put it on the back now. Make sure the eyes won't fall out, won't it? The eyes are recessed, but only just one layer. Okay. That was silly. I wasn't thinking. Happens a lot with me, I'm afraid. Right. Now we'll stick the two circles together. And the reason why I tape them together and cut them out at the same time is because if you cut the snowflake first and then you put it through the die machine again with the circle in the middle to make the hole, as it goes through the second time to cut the circle, this little lot will get flattened and you lose that lovely rounded edge that you get with a first time die cut. Okay, I'm just going to glue one of these and we'll stick the other one on the top. As I say, I always prefer to glue the layer below on the top rather than the top layer on the back. I do have to do that sometimes, but I do prefer to do the lower layer. Right, let's pick this up. There's my little hole. There's my little hole. Just put one over the top of the other, and then we'll start to line it up. There we go. Squeeze. And it's going quite well. Just make sure that the two are exactly one over the other. And press. That one's tricky to get into. There we go. And when they're all just gently pressed together, I like to pop it down onto the desk. Just use flat something or other and just press it down all the way round. Okay. Now, this can be placed over my aperture, and I can either leave it as is, or I could twinkle it. Let's have a look what he looks like. He looks quite nice as he is, isn't he, really? Let me just wipe my mat and then I'll show you how I coloured him. I coloured him with a sort of minimal number of markers, really. I used these Nuvo alcohol markers, and what did I start with? I think I started with, what's that called? Ancient Fossil. No, I didn't start with that. I used it as the shading. I've started putting the lighter colours on first. For the antlers, do they call them antlers? I suppose they do. I think I used Stonehenge. Okay. And I think I used one more for a bit of coconut shell. That was it. Those are the ones I used. So let's have a go. First thing, I hope I don't touch his eyes. If I do, I can make them white again with that. This one, because I've got two layers on the top, I forgot with this one and glued the wrong side. So with this one, I just went all over everywhere and it didn't touch the eyes because they were recessed. But I've only got one layer above. Shall I do another? Let me do another mousse just to make it easier for that. Here we go. Here's a piece of card. Let's have one more mousse and we'll stick him on the top. Okay. There's a man coming to clean the carpet this morning. downstairs, so I'm trying to get this done before he starts with his great machines. Okay, we'll put this one on the top. Right. There we go. Now his eyes are a bit more recessed. I shouldn't touch them with the markers. Okay. Right, start with this one. I'm going to avoid his antlers because I'm doing them a slightly different colour. Hope you can see. Just all this is sort of a base colour. Okay. See, I've gone over and the eyes have been left white because I've got two layers of card above. Should think what I'm doing all the time, shouldn't I really? Yes, this is for his antlers. I'll put a bit of shading on these as well presently. There we go. Now let's do a little bit of, might use a little of that for shading down. I'm going to be going over this again with the colour I started with, just to blend the colours in. He is a cutie, isn't he? Okay. Now a bit of my coconut shell. Let's have a bit of this one. Just round the, just where there might be a shadow. Okay. Now go back with this one and go all over everything again. Just blend these colours in. Sweet, isn't he? Now he's got a few bits that just need a little bit of shading, I feel. And there. A little bit over the top of that foot and around the bottom of this one. Okay. Looks funny with his eyes like this. So just to put the pupils in, I use a fine line marker pen. Just to put his eyes in. There we go. Comes alive, doesn't he? Okay, so all we need to do now, I think we may have a little bit of something embossed behind him. When I saw him, I thought, oh, he looks happy. He's a happy moose. And so I thought, happy Christmas. So I just did that on the computer. This font, I was going to tell you the name of it all of a sudden. Can't remember. I'll write it in the description below. No, it's gone. Oh, I don't retain things these days, I'm afraid. Let me just, and I only need a little bit because it's just got to go behind there. Have I got a smaller piece? Here's my offcuts. Yeah, that's plenty big enough. And my snow folder is still here. This comes out a lot this time of the year. I don't need all that. Let me just cut a piece off. Right. That one, this one. There we are. just love this. I don't know if you can see this texture, but it is fab. So he is going to go on the snow behind the aperture with that around him. I think I may actually not bother with the twinkle. I think it might be a bit too much of a contrast with him. So all I need now to do is to cut out this happy Christmoose. I need to wipe this, it's a bit messy here. Those marks will just come off with just a little drop of alcohol. Not gin, I wouldn't waste my gin on that. Happy Christmoose. Now at the back here I've got all sorts of sort of sentiment. This is the one I'm thinking of. It's about the right size, isn't it? I think that would be nice. I'm going to take that down. Okay, much too long, but I'll put it in the other way in a moment. So first of all, cut this way. Oh, it's the wrong top plate. This is the plate for me. Just bring this bit in so you can see this second bit. So now I'm going to take this off gently with the tape, turn it around, get it so that I've got the same distance each side, tape it down again. Does help if you actually get it in the right place. Okay. And cut the other way. You don't need to go very far. There we go. And we have, oh, I didn't go quite far enough. And we have a shorter sentiment. So that's going to go on the bottom. And we'll be sad. And I've heard the carpet man come. So I think I better go and rescue my husband because he doesn't know what to tell him. So there we go. I'll just pop that together and you'll find it in all the usual places. I do hope you'll have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.